welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you guys a lot for subscribing to my channel. So guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a dolman and top with a cross back. So someone actually sent me this picture, and it was really looking good, so I decided to do a tutorial on it. So if you are new to my channel, you are highly and very, like I normally say, very welcome. Yeah, so if you have not subscribed, if you find this illustration that I'm about to do, this video, after watching this video and you find it helpful, I would appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel, and then like this video to make me know you appreciate what I did, and then hit on that bell. So the essence of hitting on the bell is that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. It will just come to your phone, then you know that Stylish Naija has uploaded a new video. So that's the essence. So in making this kind of dress, I'm going to be making use of I'm going to be making use of 2 yards of fabric. But if you don't want to join because of the shoulder, because the sleeve is cut together with the top, so you would make use of 3 yards of fabric if you don't want to join your fabric on any part. So the essence of joining is to elongate the sleeve parts. But if you don't want to join it, like I said, so use 3 yards of fabric. With that, you have a long stretch, because the sleeve that I'm going to be using, the stretch, that's from half of the back measurement. As you put your tape on your shoulder, and that's the center of your shoulder, that's that bone on the back of your neck, which is like the spinal cord and bone. You put your tape there and then measure to one side to the sleeve. So what I'm going to be making use of is 26 inches. That's the length. It's 26 inches. So on my fabric, you see it is folded into 4. So I'm going to be measuring out my 26 inches to see if I have it here. So I actually have about 26 inches, which is okay. So if you have okay, so that's just that. So I'm going to start the illustration. Now the back is actually crossed, but if you notice, it is not like it is a deep and cross. It's just slightly crossed at the back. So I'm going to be showing you. So the back, you cut the back. If you are using 25 for this, that's the width of the front. The back, you make it about 30 inches, so to enable you it and cross and lap and properly. So I'm just going to cut out my fabric now. And then you consider the length of the blouse that you're going to make. So I have 19 inches here. The blouse is actually 22 inches. So I'm going to add 3 inches of band to the down. So you put that into consideration. I'll add 3 inches to the band. So I'm just going to divide my fabric into 2. And then I'll make the back and piece bigger than the front. That's how I'm just trying to reduce it like this. And then I'll cut out the front one, and then cut out the back. So the length, if you don't want a long sleeve, you can make it to any length of your choice. So I'm just going to cut. I'm going to cut this out now. So I have my front piece now. So my own length. So like I said, so this is the front and piece. So I'm just going to measure what I have here. So what I have here now for my front length, like I said, is actually 25 inches plus ½ inch and seam. So the back and piece, I'm going to fold and then show you how much I have for the back, because it is going to be crossed. So the back, you see I have about 27 inches or 30 inches, because my fabric is short, so I would have made it at 30 inches. So when making yours, you can make it about 30 inches. So we're just going to keep this now. I'm going to start with the front piece. So after cutting out the front, we'll place it on the back to cut out the back. So it will be much easier that way. So the measurement, like I said, to consider is actually the sleeve measurement, the width, the length. That's just like basically. So we have our fabric laid out now. So I'm going to come to this point now. I'm going to measure out the neckline. So for this, you could see it is like a boat and neckline. So I'm going to use 5 inches for the neckline. So I'm going to use about 5 inches, or yeah, because it is a boat neckline, it is wide, but it is not very deep. So, but if you don't want the wide one, you can use your regular 3.5 inches and neckline with. So this is my like my 5 inches here. So from this point now, I'm just going to measure out the neckline first. I'm going to measure 2.5 inches because it is a boat and neckline. So I'm just going to curve it like this. You understand? I'm going to curve it like this, 2.5. You can use 2 inches. So from this point now, that's the end of my sleeve. I'm going to measure out 1 or 2 inches. I'm going to measure out 2 inches, and then I'm going to slope it to this point. So for this point now, because it is cut together sleeve and shoulder, you don't need to measure out the shoulder. What you use is your length. That's the length of your sleeve. So from this point to this point now, that's like the length of my sleeve. So I've slanted it out now. I used 2 inches. Some you can make use of 3 inches, 4 inches, depends on how you want it, but this 2 inches still works out fine for me. So I've sloped my shoulder now. So the next thing that we're going to measure in this part, we're going to be pleating. We're going to be doing tiny pleats on the down part of this. So we're going to measure our sleeve opening. So for the sleeve opening, we are going to determine how wide you actually want it to be. So because we're going to be curving the sleeve. So for this, because we are going to be curving, so I'm just going to make use of 7 inches from this point like this. This is 7 inches. That's from here to here, because that's what is going to be this point. So you could make it smaller or bigger, depends on. So you can actually measure how wide you want it to be. So I think I'm even going to increase it. I'm going to increase it to about 9. So 7 inches is okay. 7 inches is okay. So from this point now, I'm going to come to the down point of my sleeve. Of my dress. So in coming to the down point of my dress now, what I'm going to put into consideration, because I'm going to be pleating the down. But before I do that, I'm going to measure out the sleeve. I'm going to curve it out. So I'm just trying to curve out a sleeve. So I'm just going to come from this point, measure how wide I actually want my sleeve to be. So I'm going to come to 10 inches. I really don't want it to be too wide. So from this point like this, I'm just going to mark 10 inches. You understand? So I'm just going to mark 10 inches like this. It's really simple. So I'm just going to create 10 inches. You are just making a curve, just like a harmless curve. You understand? And then I'll measure it to this point. I'm going to check what I have here. I have 16 inches because I'm going to give it a tiny pleat. It is not like it is a really fitted top. You understand? So I'm just going to pleat about a tiny pleat on it at the end of the day. So I'm just going to mark this point like this. So I'm trying not to make this point too sharp. So I use 10 inches from this point. If it's somebody that is a plus size, you can decide to use 12 or 15, depends on as the case may be. So it is really simple. So I'm just going to cut out now. I'm going to cut out this part now. So I'm just going to cut like this. So you see, if it was longer, like I said, you can extend your sleeve the way you want. You can make it 30 inches. So depends on what you actually want. So the next thing now, we're going to mark out the point where I'm going to be pleating for my sleeve. So I'm just going to mark it out now. The point. So in marking out the down part of my sleeve, that's my waist, I actually want it to be 9, which is 30. I'm even going to make it 32. 32 is okay, which is 8 inches. So this is 8 inches. So this remaining point now, we're going to be pleating it. So what we're going to be pleating, I have about 7 inches here. So I'm just going to make intervals and make tiny pleats on them. So I'm using 2 inches. I'm going to pleat at 2 inches. So you can decide to choose any pleats of your choice. That's any inches of your choice to pleat. So all you have to do is just pleat it to how wide you want the waist to be. So I'm putting notches just to enable me when I'm pleating it, I will know that this is the point that I'm going to pleat. So that's just the essence of this. So I'm going to cut out the front and neckline now. So you see, it actually looks like what we have on the picture already. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to cut out the band. But in cutting out the band, I'm going to cut the band after fixing the back and the front together. That is when I'm going to cut out the band. So I'm going to cut out the back piece now. So for the back, because the back, I'm going to be uncrossing the back. I'm just going to open it up. I'm going to open up the back piece now. And then I'm going to place it like this. And then I'll take my front piece like this. So you see what I have here. So this is the extra. This is going to be like the extra that I'm going to use to like uncross it. So you remember my shoulder slope, everything is still going to fall into it. So I'm just trying to place it out and properly, and then measure out on the back piece. Okay, so we're going to do the back piece now. So because of the cross on the back, I'm going to be doing it on the pattern paper first before I transfer to my actual fabric. So here is what we're going to do, and in order to do it and make it very simple and fast, so I'm just going to take the front piece like this. I'm going to place it on the back piece. I'm going to normalize everything with when I'm cutting on the actual fabric. I'm going to make all the measurements right. So I'm just going to do this. I'll just place it like this on this point, and then I'm going to cut out everything that I need to cut out. So I'm going to cut out the side like this. So this neckline, I'm still going to extend it because of the cross. Okay, so for the back piece now, I'm going to be slanting it. I'm going to be making my curve up to this point. So you notice that on this back piece, for the top side is actually covered properly, but the down has a little opening. So for the down that has the opening, you are going to measure how many inches you want it to open at the down. So for this, I'm going to be using 3 inches. So this is like my 3 inches. So from this 3 inches point, I'm just going to come to the neckline point here, and then I'm going to create like a curve. I'm going to create like a curve to my 3 inches. So you can decide to make it deeper. It depends on what you want. So you can make it deeper. So I'm just trying to create out my own curve now. So once I get to this point, I'm just going to continue. I'm just going to use my short and ruler to like slant it like this to this point. So I'm going to create out the curve properly for this top part. So you see I have my cut here, so it's looking like what we have on the picture. So all I'm just going to do like this, I'm going to cut it out, and then this extra inch that I took out on the neckline, I'm going to add it back when I'm putting it on the fabric. So you can decide to use this pattern, or you can decide to use the other pattern that you cut it out. You are going to cut it, and the curve, you are going to cut it out very deep. So it depends on what you want. So this will still work out. So this is the piece now that I'm going to use for my back pattern. So in cutting out and the back pattern now, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to place it here, and then I'm going to normalize the neckline. I'm going to normalize okay, I'll cut it on the fabric first before I normalize the neckline. So I was just trying to get it out and all cleared and easy for you to understand. So I already marked on the fabric before. So I'm just going to place it like this. So this was actually the initial neckline. That's the front, using the front piece like this. Using the front piece. So using the front piece, this is my the neckline, and then the sleeves, and then the extra that I have. So that's what I'm going to work with now. So I'm just going to take the back piece now. I'm going to place the neckline on this point, and then I'm going to extend it to this point. So with this extra that I have here, my dress is going to cover it's going to cover and properly. So I'm just trying to make sure that it is all set and properly, so I don't run into any problem. So I'm just going to cut out this part now. I'll cut out this part, so I'm going to extend it. The extra is going to be, so I'm just going to extend it, making sure that everything is sitting. So this part now, I'm going to extend the neckline, so once it covers, so I'm going to show you how many inches that I'm using. I'm using about 3 inches, so that's what it will use to lap. So I'm just going to cut it out straight. So I have extra 3 inches, so I'm going to cut the neckline to that 3 inches and point like this. So, and then I'm going to cut the side. I'm going to cut the side. So I'm just trying to make sure that everything is okay. For the side, I'm just going to hold on. Before I cut out the side, I'm going to use I'm going to cut out at this point like this now. So this is the back and piece. So for the side, I'm going to bring back my front piece. I'm going to bring back my front piece. I'm going to place it like this. You know why I'm placing it? Because of the pleats that I'm going to pleat. So I want to be able to have almost an equal pleats, and then the length, I want everything to be equal. So I'm just going to place equal. So this whole part is equal. So I'm going to repeat the same notches on the back and piece. So I'm going to open it up for you to see. So the front piece, this is our front piece, and then our back and piece. So you see what we have. So it's going to stay like this, and then this comes. So it is covered up to this point. So mine is a little bit up. So when you are doing yours, you can decide to bring it a little bit down more than this. So the back is going to stay like this. But if you want to bring it closer, you can decide to bring it closer. It's just that when you bring it closer, it's going to truncate your sleeve. That's the sleeve and part. It's going to make your sleeve a little bit shorter. So I'm just going to place them like this. So I'm going to go and start stitching. So in stitching, it's really simple. All you have to do is you just turn the side. So you can just decide to roll fold and the edges like this, which I'm going to do. I'm just going to roll fold it and then join the shoulder line like this. Join the shoulder line, and then I'm going to join the side. So after joining the side, before I'm going to pleat it around. So I'm going to go and do that. I'll do it one at a time. I'll first of all fold the edges, and then I'm going to join the sleeve, and then come back and show you. Okay guys, so I want to join the shoulder. So I've joined the neck and line. So I folded the neckline and then joined the shoulder and then joined the sides. So this is what we are left with. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to pleat the down part of this and top. I'm just going to pleat it like this to fit into 32 inches. That's 16 inches. So I'm going to make out a band now. I'm just going to cut out a straight and strap band of about depends on how long you want it to be, but it's obviously going to be more than 32. So what I have here is about 40 inches, and I'm using 2.5 inches width on fold. So that's 5 inches. So I'm just going to keep this on the side. So this is the front. So I'm just going to keep this on the side, and then I'm going to cut this out like this. So I've cut it out now. So the next thing, what I'm just going to do, I'm going to show you how to pleat it. So all you have to do is you just on the side of your band, you're just going to sew it from the inside and then turn it out, and then this point is the part we're going to attach on the down part. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to pleat it. So it's just like a simple pleat. So I'm just going to pleat it like this. Well, it depends on how big you actually want your pleat to be. So you put that into consideration. But what you are going to do is, when pleating, you are going to make sure that it will not be more than your waist measurement. That's the waist that you are going to use. because it is not actually a fitted dress. It is not fitted, so it depends on the measurement that you are using. So you see the back is looking beautiful already. So the same thing I'll do to this side like this. And then I'm going to turn the front, and then I'll pleat on the front. So you see what we have. So you are going to measure to make sure that you have your measurement. So you see I have 16 inches here. So this is just my waist and measurement. So I'm just going to trim out any excess that is remaining, and then I'm going to take my band like this, and then I'm just going to notch the center of my band like this, and then I'll fix it around and bring it to the back part. So I'm just going to do that now, and then bring it back to show you the concluded dress. So it's looking beautiful already. So I'm just going to go and do that. Okay, so guys, so you see our top. So it's really looking beautiful. So you can see the back. So this is the extra strap that I added to it. So you see how covered it is now. It is very covered, because at the end of the day, once you pleat on this part, so it covers up and properly. So this is the front of it. So you see how the front is looking. So I'm going to put it on now on my mannequin for you to see. So it really came out very well. So if you find this video illustration helpful, I would appreciate if you would give it a thumbs up to make me know you appreciate what I did. And then if you have not subscribed and you are new to my channel, subscribe. So thank you so much, guys. So you see, so this is, and you can decide to elongate, and the length depends on how long you want. So this is the sleeve, like I was saying. You could decide to reduce it more, that's the width. And then this is the back. So you see the back, you see how cross and covered it is. All you have to do, you are just going to just give it a good and tie like this. And then once you tie, it is well and covered. So I'm just trying to balance it up properly. So you see, this is how it's going to look. So this is going to balance up properly. So, and then you could decide to put your button. So this is just a rough for the sake of this illustration. So you see what I have. So it came out beautifully well. So I'm so happy. So bye.